With more R-series cameras widely anticipated, we have news of 3 cameras due in the second half of 2022, and one of them's an apsc. Then we'll have a quick update on some other brands before moving on to some news about the channel. Let's look into that. Hi, I'm Tom and welcome to Rumour Has It. Let's look at those pent-up expectations first, before we talk about the new bodies. Can Canon have a hope of fulfilling them all? When reading through forum posts, many users have their own wishes and desires. Expectations are high for an eosR and an RP replacement. These existing R cameras have been out for 2 and 3 years. Both were solid cameras. Many users were happy at the time of release, but they've become increasingly frustrated at the lack of the latest features, like animal eye detect and dual pixel 2 improvements. These require a minimum of the DigicX processor to work, and therefore expectations are high that Mark II versions will appear equipped with that processor. Then there is the DSLR cameras that we're yet to see transition to RF. These include the 7D Mark II, the 90D and the 850D. And let's not forget the M series. Is there anything new that hasn't been on people's wish list for a while now? I doubt it. Expectations have been raised and dashed many times regarding the M5. The M50 Mark II was a lacklustre release and it disappointed many. But these cameras still sell well in the Japanese home market. So will they get some love this time? The latest rumours come hot on the heels of the CEO's end-of-year announcement that the development was ending for DSLRs and the future was mirrorless. This had been the talk of forums for a while, but it was the first time that the Canon CEO specifically addressed this. So what can we expect from the news coming through about 3 new cameras? The first one is expected to be a low-cost, full-frame body. We expect this to be a camera that replaces the RP, with the eosR disappearing from the lineup. The camera will use the sensor from the R6, and it may come without an EVF, but little else is known. The second is expected to sit below the R6 and above that new entry-level camera, and it will be a body with a new image sensor with a higher pixel count, but not as high as the R5. So we expect somewhere around 30 to 33 megapixels, which is a sweet spot for many. Could this debut the new BSI sensor that Canon are rumoured to be working on? If there is an eosR replacement, this will be it. However, I think most likely it'll get a number this time. Take your pick. And thirdly, the rumours say there'll be an APS-C body that could be a hybrid of the M series and the 7D. Given the M6 Mark II has many features that are a step up from the 7D Mark II, like a better sensor, eye autofocus and cropped 4K, it's been popular with birders, especially with the optional EVF fitted. But the small body of the M6 doesn't sit well with longer lenses. Could we see the M series replacement bulk up? I don't think that'll work for those who love its compactness, and this is one of the main reasons for the continued high sales of the M series. But 7D Mark II owners would want a body size more in line with the full frame series, weather sealed and with the option of a grip. I don't think Canon will give an integrated grip on this time. And crucially, with an APS-C sensor. Sure, I know full-frame users will scoff at the APS-C sensor, but there are legions of fast-action APS-C fans out there just waiting to jump. At least one of these bodies will have IBIS, although I don't expect it to be the entry-level full-frame. My bet is that the apsc body will have it, especially if it's aimed at 7D Mark II users. Canon are making a big push in 2022, and news and rumours are more active on Canon than any other brand. There's nothing new to add to my Fuji X-T5 video. I guess Fuji are struggling with the supply chain issues and still not ready to make an announcement until they can resolve them. And then there's the Nikon Z6 and 7. Will there be a Mark III? There isn't much news about it, but I would expect that some of that new tech, which debuted on the Z9, will trickle down into the Z6 and Z7. Let's face it, Nikon needs to be more competitive in that space. And now for some channel chatter. The remodelling of our home took much of my time recently, and it didn't go as smoothly as hoped, but we got there in the end. Also, not many of you know, but I'm also an avid astronomer. I've not mentioned it before because I'm not sure how it would fit with my YouTube subscribers. I recently sold my home observatory, so that's taken some of my time to work through it and decide what I'm keeping. You probably noticed the mount sitting beside me in the last video. I'm not giving up, I'm just changing my setup. Normally it's the dream of any astronomer to have his own observatory, but sadly mine proved to have been built in the wrong location, next to a field and an exposed site. There was a constant battle with dust and wind, which made waiting for clear nights extra complicated by waiting for a clear, windless night, or risk the observatory ending up in the North Sea. As if these complications weren't enough, this happened. A new Olympic horse arena was built on my doorstep, and the floodlights are the bane of the local community that were used to the dark skies that we used to have in this area. This meant I was setting up on the other side of the house more and more, as it's sheltered there and with less light pollution. So the observatory had to go, to be replaced by something that hopefully we'll both enjoy. I've invested the money in some new equipment to allow remote operation of my telescope and cameras. If you'd like to see the occasional video about that side of my interests, then why not comment below, and maybe I'll show you some more at a later time. Now why not watch this video next, which YouTube thinks will interest you, or perhaps this one might suit you better. And thanks for watching Rumour Has It. I hope you'll be back soon. And let's not forget the M series.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?